Good evening, everybody. My name is Ivana. I work with AL.com, and today I am here at Birmingham's Linn Park, where there has been a rally for abortion rights. There are several hundred people here. It has turned into a march. I'm going to flip you around a little bit and let you see kind of the march that has developed here. Again, we are here at downtown Birmingham at Linn Park, and this is where an abortion rights rally was happening after the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade and left the options for states to decide how they would regulate or ban abortions. Now, I'm here in Linn Park where this rally has turned into a march. I'm going to walk a little bit with the people marching here, show you the crowd here. I'm going to flip you around first. Now, you can see this march is expected to be a little bit around Linn Park because it does look like weather is coming in. Storms are coming in here. You can see the amount of people here at this march. And again, this march is happening after the Supreme Court ruled on Friday morning to overturn Roe versus Wade in a Dobbs decision. That case was Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health out of Mississippi. And essentially what that case did was take the decision of abortions and take it from a federal right down to something that the states have to determine. Now, Alabama immediately went into an effect of a law that they had before Roe was signed. That law automatically went into effect. That was a 1951 law, and that was a ban on abortions, and the penalties were under a year in jail and a fine of less than $1,000. Now, pretty quickly on Friday, a 2019 rule, a law, I should say, that has been held up in federal court in the Middle District of Alabama in the federal court system, that law went into effect Friday afternoon. Now, the reason that was held up in federal court is because when it was passed, it was at that time barred under Roe versus Wade, but it was passed in anticipation of if Roe versus Wade was ever overturned. Now, since that did happen on Friday afternoon, a federal court judge, Judge Thompson in Montgomery from the Middle District of Alabama, said that there was no law to keep, there was no ruling, rather, no constitutional law, no federal law from the courts that he could use to enforce that hold. So that is why that 2019 law, it's called the Alabama Human Life Protection Act, that law went into effect on Friday afternoon. That law, again, went into effect Friday afternoon, Alabama Human Rights Protection Act. And what that act does is it criminalizes abortion providers, specifically. The sentencing there, it is a felony if you are convicted of providing an abortion. That sentence is between 10 and 99 years in prison. It is also a Class A felony for people who provide abortions. Now, that law does take off the persecution of women who receive abortions. So note that as well, that's part of the 2019 law. The 1951 law that went into effect immediately after that SCOTUS ruling did not exclude women from prosecution. But again, Friday afternoon, pretty quickly after that ruling came down, the 2019 law was taken off of hold by the federal court system and was allowed to go into effect. That's the Alabama Human Life Protection Act, and we have that in more detail on AL.com. But that went into effect Friday afternoon. At that point, and actually earlier, even in the day on Friday, all clinics in Alabama that performed abortions were forced to stop performing abortions. There was a speaker here today from an abortion clinic in West Alabama in Tuscaloosa. It's actually the state's largest abortion provider. And she said that they had women who were camped out in their parking lot, at the clinic parking lot. And she and other staff there at the parking lot had to turn away those women. They were there anticipating getting an abortion and knowing that ruling could come down. And again, they were turned away. They could not receive those abortions after that ruling came down a few minutes after 9 a.m. on Friday. This is, again, the march that has developed after a rally here in Linn Park. You can see here again a march that has developed after a abortion rights rally in Linn Park. Several hundred people here. There's been a lot of signs here as well. As you can see, a lot of people marching with those signs, carrying them, and a lot of people here as well with different stories that they are detailing on their signs as well. I'm not sure if they're moving too quickly for you to see them, but they do have people honking as they drive by. They do have some personal stories on their signs. There was one woman who had a sign that said that she had an abortion at 17 and then became a mother at 23 by her choice. There are, this one walking by me says, girls just want to have fundamental human rights. You can only ban safe abortions, bans off our body. Abortion is health care. You can see, should be noted, there's people of all ages here as well. And also now you can read all of the coverage on this issue on AL.com again, and we will leave all of our coverage links here, but we're going to have a story coming out of this rally with a little bit more information about what these speakers, said today, what they said before this march happened, what several people here at this rally said. I actually talked with somebody before the speaker started, and he was telling me that he was here, and he said that he was a man who was here because his sister actually had to deliver a stillborn baby, he said, when she was younger, about 13 years ago, and he wished that she would have, and she wished, I should add, that she would have been able to get an abortion to not have to go through that stillbirth. Now, he is here somewhere, and he did speak with us and told us his story. He said that his family is not supportive of abortion rights and is anti-abortion, but he is here anyway. He said he and his sister are for abortion rights. And you can see here we have several people as well with red paint handprints on them. Some more signs here. There's also a lot of flags here for the LGBTQIA community and the trans community as well. This is all this, the rest of that crowd here. It has not circled back, so you can see how large this crowd really is. Lots of chanting happening here. You can hear some of those chants. They say they will stand up and fight back. Also, some of the chants here have been bans off our bodies, abortion is health care. Several different chants going around today here in Linn Park. And again, lots of signs are seeing them. This one says, we won't go back. This one was a sign that said, I am an object, but now it's turned into say, I object. Also, lots of signs saying, I dissent, referencing the late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who was also known as a dissenter because of her many dissents on Supreme Court decisions throughout the years. Also, lots of signs comparing the decision to a decision that the Supreme Court released earlier in the week about gun rights and how gun rights should be regulated there at the federal level and not on the state level. And a lot of signs referencing that decision from earlier in the week prior to the Friday decision of abortion being left to the states. So I have a woman here with a child that says mother by choice. It said mother by choice and mother for choice if you did not see that. Also seen several signs that say, mention vasectomy, say vasectomy should be mandatory instead of abortions, different things like that.
Obviously, like I mean, that woman admitted to being like.
Should be noted, I have not seen really any counter protesters here at Linn Park. We have heard of that going on in other places across the country and seen that, but that has not happened here at Linn Park, at least that I have seen. And again, this is still the rest of that group coming through marching. This is not they're not lapping yet, if that makes sense. Also, lots of signs referencing Justice Clarence Thomas, his quotes there in that opinion about several other decisions that he thinks might need to be looked over as well. So lots of signs referencing that too. Now again, we're going to have a story in a little bit here on AL.com that will detail more of what these speakers said today, more about what they said for people who want to help people that with seeking abortions, how they can help funds like the Yellowhammer Fund, the Alabama Yellowhammer Fund, which is a fund that we've reported on from AL.com that assists women. Right now they're planning to assist women financially who are needing to travel out of state to get an abortion. Now you can see the beginning of that march looping back around here. I mean, we're going to walk up here so you can see that a little bit. So this is the beginning. I hope I don't get caught in the front of it, but this is the beginning of that march now looping back around here at Linn Park. Give you a look at how many people are here and how many people are still here despite the rain moving in. If you cannot understand that, that is the leader here who I believe works for the Yellowhammer Fund saying if we don't get it, meaning rights to an abortion, shut it down. So lots of marching here. Again, they are not leaving the park. They're staying within Linn Park here in Birmingham, not moving out onto the street, not causing any traffic delays or anything here, but just on the sidewalk around Linn Park. It looks like they're going to make a loop.
If you'd like to continue marching on this day, we are not taking a reproductive right. You don't have to have expert expertise on how to shut down a street. You don't have to know all the policies. You just have to know what it's saying.
Now, what is happening right now is one of the organizers here is encouraging people, if they would like to continue marching, to do that, and also encouraging people that when they leave here today to still stand up for reproductive rights and not leave it here in the park. That's been something we've heard from several speakers, that showing up today is wonderful, but it is not enough, and that people must go home and do make their voices heard in their communities, to their lawmakers, and more. So that has been again, it looks like the march might be kind of ending at this location because it looks like that rain is going to come in. What we have been here today, if you're just tuning in, what we are covering is an abortion rights rally here in downtown Birmingham in Linn Park. The rally started about 5 p.m. with some speakers here from several organizations, including Alabama's Yellowhammer Fund, the Yellowhammer Fund, which right now is focusing on providing women financial assistance to travel out of state to receive abortions. And this rally, the speaking rally, has now turned into a march around Linn Park. Looks like that march is starting to wrap up. There is a speaker who is at the front here delivering a message saying that this does not end here today, encouraging people, if they would like to keep marching, to continue, but also saying that people need to go home and use their voices in their communities and also with their lawmakers. I'm going to flip you around one more time. See what's happening here, what this speaker is saying. If we can hear her here, I've got my mic on me and not on her, so we'll see if we can hear her and see the message that she is getting out there. And again, we're at Linn Park, so we're right in front of City Hall, if you can see that. One of the speakers said they are closing out up here, finishing again that rally here, that abortion rights rally in downtown Birmingham. We're going to have more coverage about what exactly happened here today, but also what is continuing to happen in Alabama following this ruling. Alabama has begun enforcing its 2019 Human Life Protection Act, which does ban abortions in the state. And we will leave more information about that here, where you can continue to cover what is happening in Alabama, what is happening with that ruling, with the aftermath, and what people who support abortion rights are planning to do in the aftermath of the Dobbs decision on Friday. Again, my name is Ivana Hrynkiw. I work for AL.com. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week.